You ever get those days when you just like, oh, I'm so thirsty, but you know you don't want no water? Yeah, it's just one of those days. But anyways, let's get started. So let's get started. So today I want to do a review, and not necessarily a comparison, because I did a review on the Louis Vuitton Speedy size 40. But in the sense of, you can guys use your judgment in terms of the comparison itself. I will definitely put the link to the other video prior on the bottom of the information below. So then this way you can kind of make your best judgment in the sense of which bag is going to work for you and your particular lifestyle. So the bag that I'm reviewing today, it is the Louis Vuitton Monogram Keepall size 45, which is this baby right here. I'm trying to get it in the picture, but this bag is somewhat kind of big in front of the monitor. Anyways, so again, this particular bag, I did purchase it pre-loved from the pre-loved market. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, the time frame was, I think, between 3 to 5 years ago when I purchased it. I did purchase it from the same seller that I purchased my Speedy from, the Speedy 40. And I do remember that is because I had to contact them several times when I purchased this particular bag, because when it was being shipped from Japan, it actually got stuck in customs. And if you never had a bag get stuck in customs, let me just tell you, it prolongs getting your shipment, because now they have to investigate the product, they have to make sure the product isn't counterfeit, and then once it leaves the customs, however that works, I don't know, guess what? You then now have to pay a fee. You have to pay a fee to United States Postal Service or whoever the carrier that you're going through. And the reason for that, because the item is randomly pulled, and since they're pulling it, they now have to pay for that custom fee for the investigation and all that. I don't remember. I think I ended up paying $60 for that particular fee. Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie, because other bags I've ordered through overseas, I never had that happen until this particular bag, of course. And again, it just prolonged getting the actual item. That's a long story short. I can make another video about that. So here is the bag itself. These actually did come originally with the bag. So there is the luggage tag right there. Hopefully you guys can get a good view of that. And the piece that keeps the two handles together. Those did come with the bag. So that's pretty nice. The actual key locket itself, which is right here. There you go. Sorry about that. This did not. I actually purchased this separately. Yeah, I did purchase this separately. I think I've only used this bag once. I really wanted it, so I purchased it. I don't remember the cost overall, so I do apologize about that. But again, that's pretty much, it did not come with a dust bag. Or did it? No, it didn't. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and just review the outside of the cosmetic wear and tear of it before I go into the inside. So once I go into the inside, then I'll address the date code, etc. and all of that. So then once you hear about the date code, then you'll have a better understanding of the overall condition of the bag itself. So again, this is a vintage pre-love piece of Louis Vuitton item. I do apologize. I did not get the size of the measurements itself. Again, it's out there. Google it, whatever. But I'm not going to be redundant on that. I'm just going to go more of the wear and tear of it. So then you guys can have an idea what to expect, what you're looking for, and what you're willing to accept in the sense of purchasing a pre-loved particular, maybe a Keepall or a Speedy. So when I got this bag, one thing that I was really hesitant in the sense of purchasing it is because on both sides of these particular straps, they are slightly cracked. And the reason for that is because what I was told by the seller, because I did ask questions and asked for more photographs, is that this was in someone's storage, and it basically was flattened all that time. So what ended up happening is that if the bag doesn't get moisture and then the moisture dries out of the leather, that it does seem to crack. So hopefully you guys can get a view right there. So right there is a slight crack, on that side is a slight crack, as well on this side. Believe it or not, the cracks are a lot better than what they used to be, because when I first purchased the item and then when I got it home, I did moisturize the actual leather to put some moisture back into it, some more life into it, because it did look like it was going to break. So I cleaned up the canvas, I cleaned up the leather, I conditioned it, and now it's a lot better. It doesn't seem to be cracking anymore. And then to prevent that from keep wanting to flatten down, I do put pillows inside. So for right now, those are the only two major issues that I have. I mean, there are some areas that obviously need some improvement on, but other than that, those are manageable. On the sides of the bag, hopefully you guys can see it. There you go. There is some slight wear. Nothing horrific, obviously, so that's really good. Those are on both sides right there. Hopefully that comes through. There you go. So if you notice, there's a little bit of scuff marks right there. So this basically tells me that this was used a little bit, but then end up being put away, hence the reason why it was flattened down for obviously storage purposes. So yes, it was used, but it was just put away improperly, where it caused these creases to really take place and the leather start to dry. But luckily, I know how to take care of it. I was able to restore it back to life. Now, the handles right here, they're good shape, but if you saw my other review in regards to the Speedy 40, you do know, well, hopefully you'll know that I did mention that a lot of times these handles, depending on the age of the bag, they will get darkened, really nasty, just really a deep shade, and that's because of the oils, the lotions from your hands that keeps pretty much holding on to this. Now, this has started that. So I don't know, even though I have a funny feeling it wasn't used that much, it still does show a lot. It did show wear on there. So when I cleaned it up, hopefully you guys can get a good look on that. It doesn't look as bad when I first initially got it. It's still there, of course, but it is a lot better once I cleaned it and moisturized the handles as well. Now, another area is the actual brass zipper. So hopefully you guys can see that right there. Apologize. Okay, so you may see a little difference, and I'll show you what I mean. Right over here, you may see there's a spot that's a little shinier, right? It's because I wanted to show you guys that even though you purchase a pre-loved or used vintage piece that may appear maybe cosmetically damaged or like completely out of shape, like, okay, there's no point in me getting it, you can still restore the pieces. No problems whatsoever, as long as you know how to do it. So I just left that piece there so I can show, oh, it's on this side. So I basically can show you, and if, yeah, and I'll show you another piece. So basically right there, I'll go, since I'm talking about it, that is the brass zipper. You may see a little bit white residue, and that's just because of the product that I use. So again, the rest of it is all tarnish, but that just shows you that it can be cleaned up. Another area that I started cleaning is right here by the handle. So hopefully you guys can get a good view of that. So on one side, here, it is clean. On the other side, it's still tarnished. So if you get a good view, hopefully the camera's picking it up, you can see with a little bit of TLC, it can be restored. Now, I just did a quick cleanup. Normally, that isn't my normal process. I usually put tape on the bag, a particular tape, just so it doesn't damage or leave residue on the actual leather. And I do some particular maneuvering around so that I can get into the actual handles, or however these are called, to clean up the brass. If you want to see a review or want to know what products I use to clean my bags and restore them from the brass, getting them that shiny look again, definitely leave a comment below, and I'll definitely see how many inquiries I get about that, and I'll definitely upload a video on my restoring of a Louis Vuitton piece. Hopefully I may be able to do this one, since I just started it and I really didn't do anything because I've been procrastinating. I've been lazy, let's put it that way. Anyways, so there on the bottom of the bag, there is slight water marks. Hopefully it does pick it up. Let me see. There you go. So watermark there, and just slight watermarks, nothing major whatsoever. So because of that, and because of the age of the bag, I was like, I would go ahead and purchase that because it's in great shape comparison to the age, and I will get into that because you'll be amazed. So that is pretty much the outside. Oh, I always forget what these are called up here. Hopefully you guys know, leave a comment below, but I always forget what these things are called. Those are slightly tarnished as well. I can definitely clean those up too. I just haven't got to that bag. You know, that's what happens with brass. You know, air hits it and it gets like that. Other than that, that is pretty much the outside of the bag. So let's get into the inside. So if you may have already heard me say, I did put a pillow inside the bag. And the reason for that is because I want to make sure that it keep the shape of the bag, and also to prevent I went blank, to prevent this from cracking anymore. So I think I put 2 in here. I'm not sure, maybe 1 or 2. Nope, just 1. So then I always leave air freshener inside the bag, and the reason for that is because if I keep it in storage, there's a possibility too, and if I don't use it for quite some time, maybe it's going to also get that like that closety smell. And I try to keep my closet as much as possible in the sense of keeping moisture out of there. So I usually hang stuff in that soaks up all this moisture. Anyways, that's for another time. But I did put a bag body shaper on the bottom of it. So it's in here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I don't want to take it out because it is a pain to put it in. For whatever reason, I could not get it in this bag. It's the right size. So that is the inside. Well, you know what? Let me try to take it out. So this way you can see the inside of how clean. Oh, I was able to get it out pretty smoothly. All right. So that is the inside. Hopefully you guys can get a good see. It's a pretty decent size. I mean, it's great. It's a great gym bag by all means. If you're going to the gym and you really don't care too much about this and you're just going to toss it around, I would highly suggest using it because it's a great overall size. Now, here are the insides. Hold on a second. If I can hold this bag right. So nothing there. Of course, the leather right there. There is no pockets in the Keepall 45, at least not in this particular model, and I don't believe it's any of the newer ones. Or the Monogram ones, I should say. So there is the date code right there. So if you're not unfamiliar with the date code, the VA, or VI, stands for France. Early bags, bags from in the early 80s, they typically had like a 3-digit code. And this code right here represents, so it's VI, again, for the country, France, that it was made in. And it gives out the 2 letters, I believe, the 2 letters are for the year, and the last letter is for the month. So that's what that represents. So for an example, as you already saw, it was VI 871. So that tells you the first 2 years, that means this bag was actually in production in 1987, my apologies, in the month of January, since 1 is the last number in the sequence that represents the month. So once again, this bag was made in January of 1987. So what that means, this bag literally is 33 years old. 33 years old. So now you see why I purchased this bag. Because this bag, in reality, if you just think about it, it's really not that bad of shape. It's really in decent shape. I mean, even though it was placed in storage, some scuffs on the bottom. Stitching is still pretty good in the sense of there's no loose stitching whatsoever. Honestly, I don't remember if there was a scent to it when I first got it. I'm pretty good when I purchase my bags that are pre-loved. I typically leave them by the window, let the air kind of escape, hit the sunlight, hit the bag inside so that it can kind of like hopefully take away the scent. I do some other tricks and whatever. If you want to know, just leave a comment too. and I'll make a video on that. So that's pretty much what it is. So again, 33 years old is not bad whatsoever. Yeah, oh, let me show you the tabbies real quick. So I apologize, I didn't show you that. So this is where, okay. You may not be able to see it. So that is the shorter L right there. Yes, there is a difference between a long L and the shorter L. If you know Louis Vuitton, you know at one point they used the shorter L, and then with the spacing of the O, and as well with the France, newer bags have the capital, where the older ones have the lower F. Hopefully that comes through. Okay, you may not be able to see it because it is quite old. Here, I'll show you on the luggage tag what I mean by that. Okay. Let's see if the light, okay, so there you go. So if you notice the L, it is short, but it is spaced just right with the O. And if you look below Paris, the F right there is a lowercase f. But with newer bags, it is an uppercase F. So again, there are ways to determine if a bag is authentic. Oh, I can't say the word right. Authentic. Why does it sound good in my head, but it's not coming out? You know what I'm trying to say. I was doing real well with this video. So yeah, this is my review of the Keepall Monogram Louis Vuitton 45. Yeah, if you have any questions or any in the sense of do you want to know how I clean my bags, like I mentioned before, definitely leave a comment below and I can definitely tell you what I use and how I do it to prevent any extra damage to the bag in the sense of the leather and to the canvas. But until then, make sure y'all brush your teeth, wash your culo, and subscribe. Until then, you guys, thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Bye.